It's important that my daughter knows the context of our city so she can respect it more, but also appreciate it more when you know these connections, the story behind our local corner store, or the fact that our neighbor has such a rich connection to DC by working for the Metro for so long. I want her to know these stories so she appreciates Washington, DC and its people and all of its people.
I like it, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm running away, yeah, yeah. I like it, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The idea behind my Instagram account was to really just cover the different diverse stories and places in Washington, D.C. And it started when I first moved here 17 years ago, thanks to a lot of local media like The Express and DCist. Sadly, both of them have shut down. But that was my inspiration, was to go out and experience the city and find these hidden corners. And then COVID hit, and my daughter, who's now 7, was stuck at home. And I decided to start to teach the alphabet to my then 3-year-old daughter by exploring every single neighborhood in Washington, D.C. And what I did was did a deep dive of the historical context behind 131 of D.C.'s neighborhoods, and then tried to distill that down as how do you explain the richness of this history and the complexity of this history so that a 3-year-old would understand. We can have these sometimes hard conversations, but very important conversations. So sadly, something that we learned in researching all the neighborhoods of DC, and DC has a very racist past where people of certain backgrounds, often people of African descent or Jewish descent or Middle Eastern descent, and also people of Irish descent as well, weren't allowed to own property in a lot of neighborhoods in the city. And that was just a few decades ago. And so there's no wonder why there's lack of equality and equity within the city. And that I don't want to shy away from this conversation. So as we learned about the historical context of different neighborhoods like Adams Morgan, for example, it's such a sad history, but it's important for our daughter, who was 3 at the time, to understand. And she would ask such honest questions about that of like, oh, like that would make me feel so sad if someone told me that I couldn't own property or move into a neighborhood that I wanted to based on how I look or where I was born or where I grew up. And those conversations are so important, and we can't ignore that. So those moments are actually, even though it is around such a tragic part of the city's history that still affects today in very tragic ways, it was sweet to have those honest conversations and to have her feel that tension and ask hard questions about how people were treated in the past of DC and in many ways still treated today. This is my Zesty story.
I like it.